Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got the Springfield XDM Elite. This is a 45 ACP, the 3.8 compact. Please don't forget to check out our website. Go to our affiliates page. You'll find discount codes for things like Mantis Axe and Core belts. Link to that cool little bore light that we use for lighting up the barrels. Use those links. It will often save you money, never will cost you any additional money, and helps the channel. And please consider supporting the channel on Player, formerly Utreon, where we can do some types of videos that are no longer allowed on YouTube. This is a very nice handgun. The whole XDM series is really nice, and then when they expanded it to the Elite series, they added a lot of features to what was already a very nice handgun. This is the OSP version, and interestingly enough, the non-OSP version of this same gun has been discontinued. It's on their website as discontinued, but you can still get the OSP version that's in my hand, and you can also get it with a Hex Dragonfly pre-installed. However, they seem to be getting very, very scarce. This was very difficult to find. So I'm wondering if potentially the discontinuing will expand beyond that. But when you're done watching the review, if you determine that you like this gun, get one while you can. First of all, finding 45 ACP handguns, semi-automatics outside of 1911s, is becoming harder. Everything in this world seems to be going to the 9mm micro compact territory, and getting calibers like 40 and 45 in newer releases of guns is becoming difficult, and older releases of guns just across the entire general market are becoming discontinued. The Elite series really took the XDM and added a couple additional features. One of them is this removable Magwell. The Magwell is beveled to make it easy to hit and get your magazine in from pretty much any angle. Now it does require magazines with the right base plate. They do come in the box with the flat base plates that you can use if you remove the Magwell. And it's easy to remove. There's one pin you push out here. It's the same pin that you would push out to change the backstrap. And then this pin here is retained by that, and you just push this down, take the Magwell off, and the gun will work perfectly without it and look normal without it, or you can use it with it. It's your choice. It comes with 3 replaceable backstraps, comes with the medium-sized one pre-installed, and this is the large one. I swapped it out for the large one. And you see there's some nice texture all the way around it. These are really easy to get a hold of. And the only reason that you might want to remove the Magwell would be if you had a problem with where your pinky sat. I tend to grab all these subcompacts with just the 2 fingers. The pinky really just kind of hangs out there in the breeze. So the Magwell didn't interfere with me at all and actually kind of fit quite well. But depending on the size of your hand, if the Magwell gets in your way, you can easily remove it. It's nothing that is difficult or requires any gunsmithing to deal with. The whole XDM series does have the grip safety, but I find these work well. They don't bite into your hand. Once they're recessed, they go away enough that you don't feel them. I've never had the palm of my hand in here hit by them, and I've never had this one of these, and I've worked with several of these, never had one of these not work because of the grip safety if you have even close to a proper grip on it. So if you've got enough of a grip on it that it's going to stay in your hand when it goes off, you've got enough of a grip on it that that grip safety is going to disengage and work properly. It also has the internal drop safety piston, and it has the inertial toggle. It's got kind of a flatty style trigger. That's one of the enhancements. The toggle goes away quite easily. You notice it goes away very quickly, and now you get the take up. There's minimal take up, and then kind of a softer, slightly longer wall, but very defined and very nice. This trigger is very nice trigger to work with. It's light. It's about a 5-pound trigger. The reset is right there. It's tactile and audible. You're right on the wall, and then again, that slightly soft, little bit longer wall that you pull through, but it's very consistent. I really do like the triggers on these. They're a little different than the Glocks that have a kind of a very sharp wall. These have a slightly softer wall, and you'll also notice there's an over travel stop on the trigger. And all of these XDMs that I've worked with, doesn't matter what caliber it's been in, whether it's been an Elite or a regular or the competition, they've all worked flawlessly. These guns just work. It has a 3-slot Picatinny rail. It has front and rear serrations. They're large and well defined. They're easy to get a hold of, whether you're grabbing it from the front or the back. And the sights on these are quite nice. It's a U dot, and unlike the Glock U, which is kind of a square U, these are a U. It's kind of a rounded U, and a fiber optic, a red fiber optic front sight. If you don't like the sights, they're dovetailed and easy to replace front and rear. And there's a number of sights out there on the market available for the XDM. And of course, because this is the OSP version, you can slap an optic on it and forget the sights exist. But I do find that these U-dot sights on these XDMs are easy to use, they're easy to see, they're easy to line up and get a good target picture with. I find them as easy to use as I do the Glock U-dot, which I happen to like the U-dot pattern. It seems to me be for me an easy target system to work with and reliable. The magazines are labeled 9 rounds, but they will hold 10. So both, it comes with 2 of them, and they do hold 10 rounds. You will find that up through 8, they're fairly easy to load, even though sometimes the feed lips can be a little bit bitey. So a Magwell really comes in handy. But the 9th and 10th round, they're going to put up a fight going in. Once the magazine's broken in, they'll be a little bit softer, but these are a little more difficult to load to full capacity than some others I've worked with. Magwell, they're 30-something bucks. They're available. A lot of gun shops have them, and of course most of the various websites have them. It's a good investment, especially with magazines like this that have metal feed lips and a little bit tighter. The dimensions on this are 6.75 front to back, 4.58 inches tall, and 1.2 inches thick. So it's your typical subcompact size 45 ACP. Weighs 25 ounces. 45 guns tend to be a little bit heavier. There's a little bit more metal in them, so it's a wider frame and a wider cartridge. But easy to hold on to, very comfortable to hold, fits well in your hand. Nice deep well in here. You're getting really under that beaver tail. You're not going to get slide bit by this thing. Very manageable, comfortable to shoot, and even for such a small gun in 45, the recoil is quite manageable. And this gun has been dead reliable from the first round to when we were done for the session, and it ate anything that we fed it, which has been typical of these XDMs. As I mentioned earlier, these things just work, and they're drama free. MSRP on this is $653, the one you see in my hand here, and $837 with the one with the Hex Dragonfly pre-installed. And one interesting thing about these, down here in Central Florida on the water, there's all sorts of things that are bitey, and several of them are packing some pretty impressive venom. We got cottonmouths, rattlesnakes, and things like that down here. 45 ACP rat shot is a popular way to take care of those types of problems if they arise. And the XDM is one of a couple guns that I've found that are automatics that will reliably shoot that rat shot. So when you talk about not being ammo sensitive, if they'll shoot rat shot, they'll pretty much shoot anything, and these will reliably cycle that rat shot. So they make a good companion for outdoor activities where you might come upon a critter like that, and the rat shot's kind of got a nice cone to it, so you don't have to be perfectly accurate to get them. Just make sure, of course, the cone is out away from your feet. But things like rats and venomous snakes and other critters that might want to cause you a bit of a problem, that's a useful feature, and we found these do actually reliably cycle that. So to maintain it, of course, you make sure there's no mag in it. You lock it back. So by locking it back, you can also verify that it's unloaded. Flip up this lever, which is relatively easy to do, then release the slide and pull it apart. And what didn't I do? I didn't pull the trigger. To me, that's less important because I always verify it's unloaded, but a lot of people don't like to pull the trigger. With the XDMs, the whole XDM series, you don't touch the trigger. It's disengaged when you flip the lever up. Captive dual recoil spring. Here's your barrel. And typical of anything from Springfield, it's very well machined. You've got a polished feed ramp, and I'll show you the internals of the barrel. You got conventional rifling, and the rifling is very sharp, well defined and clean. No tool marks, no chatter marks. Typical of Springfield, their machining is flawless. I've never had any kind of a rough machining of anything from Springfield. Slide is well maintained. Well machined, clean, and nothing fancy going on. And here's your piston back here by my thumb for the drop safety. So it is drop safe, and then you have the hook for the striker. And I'll set these two things aside. And here's your frame. Really robust front rails and locking block all integrated. And then robust rails at the back. Now the rails at the back are polymer. They're built into the frame. I've got some of these with lots of rounds through them, and you don't even see any wear on the rear. All the real work is done by the front rails anyway. These just keep the slide from going sideways. And they don't wear, so it doesn't bother me that these are polymer because they hold up well and they're large and thick. And then of course you have the fire control group, which is all polished. It looks like it's boron coated, but I can't say that for sure. But I will say that the trigger on this is exceptionally smooth, as you saw when I did it. So whatever they got going on in here, it works. The trigger is actually quite nice on these. And then there's a partial feed ramp here in the locking block. And then, of course, you had the full feed ramp that when the barrel's installed, I'll put the barrel up in here. When the barrel's installed, you've kind of got your full feed ramp. The bulk of the work is done by the top feed ramp. This would just take a round that was not properly positioned in the magazine and hint it upward into the main feed ramp and get it to load. So these do work reliable. I've never had one of these things malfunction on me that wasn't caused by actually truly defective ammo. Putting it back together, it's easy. Drop the barrel in, drop the recoil spring in. It almost wants to center itself. And with the lever still up, line it up. Of course, you got to do it right. And lock it back. Flip the lever down. And you're done. These are easy to live with, easy to maintain. They're very high quality guns, and I would recommend the XDM series to anybody that is looking for a robust, high quality, high featured handgun. They're just good. And one of the things I'll often tell somebody, if they don't like Glocks, don't like the grip angle on Glocks, or for some reason just don't want anything to do with a Glock, this is what I would send everybody to. If you don't like the Glock, go look at the XDM. And that's not to say that Glock is better than XDM. These are actually good as a primary, but Glocks are easy to find. So a lot of times if somebody's looking for something, get a Glock 19, get a Glock 26, because they're easy to find. These, not all gun stores carry them, but if you do find one of these, and again, if you're looking for the 45, the 3.8, or the XDM line, you might want to act quickly. Start looking around and find them, because they do seem to be getting a little bit harder to find. And like Glocks, they will take the magazines from the bigger guns, and unlike Glock, they actually do a good job of integrating the grip. So you get these sleeves that go on the magazine, and that sleeve will follow the grip pattern. Now, of course, to use one of the sleeves, you would have to remove the Magwell. You could do it without the sleeve with the Magwell. But one of the things I do find with these XDMs is when you use a sleeve in the longer magazine, it becomes just an extension of the grip. It becomes just continuity of the grip. Springfield has done an excellent job with that. Unlike Glock, where the magazine, the grips, the extensions that are out there are kind of suboptimal. None of them actually work well with the slide, I'm sorry, with the grip frame. And they even have sizes of those magazine sleeves that match the backstrap that you've chosen. So when you look at, does it use the bigger mags? Yes. Does it use the bigger mags, and can you actually turn this into a compact or a full-size gun by using the bigger mags? Yeah, you can, and it's seamless. So that's actually a big plus in Springfield's favor over what Glock offers. In summary, a good, reliable, nice, easy to live with handgun. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell up there to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Player, Rumble. We're pretty much everywhere. And thank you.